Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to math. The concept you'll be learning today is called equation of a circle. Okay? So make sure you write it down on your notes. But before we get started on this, I'm going to do a little bit of background on what a circle is. All right? This will make it a lot easier for you to understand the equation of a circle. So let's get started on that. All right, guys. So let's start off by drawing a circle. All right. Notice that my circle's a little off, but it's okay. This is not art class, okay? This Rivera is not the best at drawing. So, now, at the center of all circles, there is what's called an origin, okay? A center point. So, we have our center point, which is called point of origin. All right? Point of origin. Now, this line or this circle has also a line that goes from the center, from the origin, out to the outer rim, okay, to the outer side of the circle, which is called a radius. Okay? When there's a line that goes from one corner of the circle to the other corner of the circle, it's called a diameter. All right? So, now that you know all the very basics of a circle, we can actually start on today's concept, okay? So let's start. All right, guys, the equation you're going to need for today is parentheses x minus h close parentheses square plus parentheses y minus k square equals r squared. Okay? That is the equation we're going to use today. All you have to do today is get familiar with that equation. Okay? So, the first thing you need to know is your h and your k are your origin points, okay? Or your point of origin, in other words. So your h and your k is point of origin. Okay? That's all you have to know for now, all right? Just h and k is your point of origin. Your r is the radius, okay? So radius. Sorry about that. You gotta cut off a little there. It's our radius. Okay? So, you really don't have to worry about too much about x and y or even the squares at this point, okay? Just keep in mind, your h and your k is your point of origin, your r is your radius. All you have to do on the concept for today is plug it in. So, let's start off on the first example. All right, guys, so for our first example, it tells us that our center, or point of origin, in other words, it's located at 2, negative 5, okay? Our radius is 3. So all we have to do is plug it in, okay? So Always label. Makes it a lot easier. So the first one, remember back on a few concepts back where you have to label it X and Y. Now you're going to label it H and K. It's also the same thing. Okay? So H and K. Now that we have them, we can actually plug it in. So we can say X minus, remember H is 2, right? 2 squared plus, then we have our other set, Y. Notice that you have a Y from the original equation, you have a negative, and you have a negative from the 5. That means that negative times negative makes it a positive, okay? So plus 5 squared equals, our radius is just our number, 3 squared. And we're done. That's all we're doing. We're just plugging it in, okay? All you have to do is just label it and then just plug it in into the equation. Let's do one more together. All right, guys, so here's our second example. We have the origin is located at 1, 6, and then the radius is 4. Remember, do you guys remember what the first thing to do? Label it, right? It makes it a lot easier. So we're going to label the 1 and the 6. Remember, the first one is always your H. Your second one is always your K. Okay? Like the alphabet, H comes before K. So, now that we have a label, we already know that R is 4. We really don't have to label that because it's already labeled for us. All we have to do now is put it all together. So we have parentheses, X minus, because it's positive, so just minus 1, close parentheses, square, plus another set of parentheses, Y. Notice that this time it's positive here, so it stays with the negative from the equation. Minus 6 square equals, and then our radius is 4 square. And we're done. All right. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me an email, okay? So, you have 2 examples. Make sure you have them on your notes. Let's get started on today's assignment. All right, guys. So, we have 3 problems on the board. The first one, origin at 2.2, 3. The radius is 2. The second problem is the center. It's at -2, 4 with the radius of 5. And the third one is the center. It's at 2, -4 with the radius of 1. Okay? So, make sure you send me your answers to my email address. Also, your notes. Take a picture of them. Send them to me. This way I know you're taking down notes. So, I'll be hearing from you soon.